네, 그럼 지금부터 기조연설을 시작하겠습니다. 기조연설은 MBC 이은성 부장님께서 도와주시겠습니다.
안녕하십니까. 소개받은 MBC 미디어 전략본부 이은성입니다. 만나 뵙게 되어 영광입니다. 오늘의 기조 강연을 맡아주실 미국 폭스TV 예능부분 대표 미스터 랍 웨이드와 저는 MBC 예능 프로그램 복면가왕 포맷의 미국 수출로 알게 되었습니다. 이후 복면가왕 포맷의 전 세계적인 대성공과 함께 많은 협업을 했고 그분과 저는 직접 만난 적도 있습니다. 오늘 어렵게 모신 미스터 랍 웨이드와의 기조 강연 인터뷰를 제가 진행하게 되어 또한 영광입니다. 기조 강연 인터뷰를 시작하겠습니다. 미스터 랍 웨이드 나와 계십니다. Hello, Mr. Wade.
Hello, Korea Next Media Event. Great to see you. My name is Rob Wade. I'm the president of Fox Alternative Entertainment. It's great to be here speaking to all the Korean broadcasters and producers. Thank you for having me.
Glad to see you too. And first of all, can you introduce FAE, Fox Alternative Entertainment, and its activities to the audience?
Absolutely, yeah. Fox Alternative Entertainment is the unscripted studio part of Fox, the network here in the US. We produce shows like The Masked Singer, I Can See Your Voice, Name That Tune, Alter Ego, to name a few, and we also produce the specials. So my job is I oversee FAE, but I also oversee the network and a couple of other businesses.
Okay, can you tell us more about one of your latest program, the singing competition show using avatars, Alter Ego, its background, production process, and innovative technologies behind this production, please?
Yeah, sure. So Alter Ego, we began to think there was a possibility of making a show which used AR in a performance show after we did some experimentation at the beginning of the pandemic on The Masked Singer, because we were not allowed audiences and we weren't allowed dancers on stage, we started to use AR to position dancers and special effects and props on the stage, and also to place an audience within that. So then we did a lot of testing. We worked with various different companies on a few different aspects. The first aspect was we had to work out how to build and make the avatars look good. We didn't want them to be replicas of human beings. We wanted them to be slightly gamey, like from a video game, but still be relatable. So we designed them like that. Then the second phase was we had to work a lot with the technology of having the avatar on stage and being able to move in sync and in real time with the human being backstage in the mocap suit. Then we worked a lot on making sure that as the avatar moved around the stage, it reflected the lights and created shadow and silhouette, which would make it feel like it was actually on that stage. And things like the feet were planting properly, that the movement and the connection of the avatar physically within the real world was realistic. And that took a lot of work. And then the final piece of this was using facial recognition technology to make sure that as the avatar moved and sang, that in real time, we could replicate those movements on stage. So we did a huge amount of work on that as well. And then we actually announced a show in May of 21. And we were still working on a lot of the technology then, but we felt like we could get there by August when we started filming the show. And that was a really busy period, as you can imagine. Then in production, we learned a huge amount. We obviously had a lot of adjustments in the early stages. We learned things such as the closer up you go onto an avatar, the more problem you have with it glitching because there's more information based on the content within the screen, and if you move the camera again because the computation of seeing the graphics move is that much harder for the servers, so it's a lot more difficult for them to keep up. So again, it glitches. So we learned a lot in that time, but the biggest thing we learned was that it was possible to create an emotional connection with an avatar, and that was very encouraging. And then in terms of marketing, that we also, as we were in the development of it, started to use the avatars as possibilities of creating NFTs, and we worked a lot on the way that we could tokenize those and perhaps create almost like social media interest by people being able to collect these avatars. So we worked with a lot of different technologies really to bring the show together in a very short amount of time.
NFT is very interesting. How was your business for NFT? Because NFT is a big issue too in South Korea.
The business is good. We've actually just started it on Masked Singer. We have what we call the Maskverse, and we released our first NFTs on through Blockchain Creative Labs, and we sold out of the first NFT we created for Masked Singer was called Miss Masky, and we sold out of that within a very short amount of time. There were 70,000 wallets created on the blockchain, and that sold out within 5 days. But this is just the very beginning of this kind of technology. So we're learning a lot as we go along. But we feel very confident that there is the possibilities to really create a business on the blockchain and for it potentially to become a distribution platform for content in the future.
Okay, I heard about some kind of your processing procedure for production for alter ego. It would be, I believe, very challenging and very innovative for that. Do you have some more details about it? What would be some innovative broadcasting formats, production technologies, and marketing strategies in preparation at Fox Entertainment, your company?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I've just talked about the blockchain and NFTs. I think obviously that is a huge potential both for creating revenue, but also for marketing, creating an engagement between your viewers and your shows. If you can figure out how to connect the viewers in the same way that a viewer will connect through social media, if they can connect through tokens, then I think that's going to create an incredibly strong affiliation with any show. So that's an interesting innovation. We have more traditional ways which we engage viewers. We have a very powerful sports network, the NFL, the Super Bowl is on our air every few years. But we also have a lot of very big sports games, both in NFL and baseball. And we use those audiences to elevate and to amplify awareness and intent for our shows. We also have, obviously, a huge, as everyone does, amount focus on the social media. And we do that through Fox, and we have our own social media accounts, both for Fox, the network, and for each individual show. And then we lean very heavily on our talent to go out there and use their social media to support the shows they're on and each other. I think those are the main strategies. I mean, we also use our shows a lot to help each other. So I think it's very important while we're still on linear television and on free to air, that you think about how you schedule your shows so your viewers have a good flow through your shows, so they have a similar tone. So, for example, Masked Singer and I Can See Your Voice, different shows, but there's a similar fun feeling in each show. So I think you have to build off your successes like that. We do the same. We have a lot of cooking. Master Chef and Hell's Kitchen are very successful for us, and we have a lot of cooking shows we launch with them. We just launched a show called Crime Scene Kitchen that did well. That is a very fun baking format that we did. So we use a lot of marketing strategies. We obviously spend as well. We go outside and spend on both on social and linear into the cable channels and more traditional ways. But yeah, it's getting more and more difficult to do that because aggregating a large audience is becoming more and more difficult because people are so fragmented. So now it's really finding out ways that you can reach people in more innovative ways.
Okay, you already now mentioned some programs like Crime Scene Kitchen and House Kitchen. Are there other upcoming shows at Fox? Other programs?
Yeah, so we have a number of different new formats coming up. We have a show called Next Level Chef, which is a Gordon Ramsay show, which involves competitors competing over 3 different floors and with different types of food, and they compete against each other. We have a dating format coming up, and we have a number of different kind of new shows in development. We also have a Domino's show that we have produced that will be coming out next year.
This would be the question for the Masked Singer that I distributed worldwide. How did the success of the Masked Singer affected the composition of Fox's entertainment?
Yeah, I think it was the composition. Obviously, we've made a lot of Masked Singer. I think we have always lent towards very broad, entertaining shows that are lighthearted and fun. And I think this just cemented that attitude in the company. I think that we have tried to create similar shows that can either support it or, play off the back of it, which we found very successful. But we at Fox, we're a very innovative media company. It's very influential in general within the global media. So we've always felt like we were a really good gateway to new and fresh ideas, and I think Masked Singer just continued that history.
I want to thank you because you opened the door for NBC and the Masked Singer format to the world. Thank you very much.
Well, I don't say that. I think you guys did the hard work. It's the most difficult thing in the world is to create a new idea and a new format, and I think that's what you guys did. And so I appreciate you guys doing that for me.
Okay, Alter Ego. Alter Ego's creative hologram avatars gave new artistic inspirations for visual shock and power, just as great pop figures like Prince, David Bowie, Madonna, and Lady Gaga did. Not only did they have a huge impact on pop music, but also, I think, on culture and art. Do you think Alter Ego's avatars can have a similar impact like that figures?
Absolutely. I think Alter Ego's avatars can have that impact. I think the television show is just the beginning of their life. There's obviously a lot of advantages of having a pop star, which is an avatar. One thing is they never get old. You can always change them in the way you want. You can basically market them as you would please. There's a lot of flexibility there. I think that we have our panel of judges, which is Alanis Morissette, will.i.am, Nick Lachey, and Grimes, are all mentoring and helping the winner to make a record, to produce their record and release it. I think the music has to come first, but I think if the music is right, the avatars can be very, very successful. Again, I think that the technology is developing, so even these avatars will improve with time. They will become more and more and more realistic. They will become more able to react to whatever environment they're in. They'll become easier to place in environments. The technology is going to improve. It's improved so fast. Like between when we started doing this, a year ago and now, it's a completely different game, and it's unbelievable how fast the technology is changing at this point. So you have to imagine that eventually there is that emotional connection. And as there is an emotional connection, there's no doubt it's only a matter of time before one of these avatars become the biggest pop stars in the world.
Okay, thank you. Now, let's talk about you and the changes you've been through in this industry. You have produced hit programs in various formats, such as Dancing with the Stars, The X Factor, and Got Talent. How the changes like OTT, the metaverse, etc., occurring in media platforms transform broadcasting entertainment programs, do you think?
Yeah, so I think, first of all, that the world has changed a huge amount since these shows were made. I mean, the Dancing with the Stars is nearly 20 years old now. It's a long time. And the shows you talked about began at the beginning of reality TV when every idea was new. Now that's not the case. So just by definition, it's already much more difficult to create a innovative, fresh hit TV show now, because a lot of them have been already done. As well as that, we obviously have the event of OTT and a huge amount of competition from them, but it's actually not the competition that is challenging. What is challenging is OTT services appeal and aggregate audiences by defining small interests. So they may make a show that is designed for a smaller group of the population. They don't have to think that they need to entertain in a 4-quadrant way and multiple people of multiple different ages. So in a way, that's a much more easy proposition. They don't have to have one show for the whole family. They have to have 4 shows which different members of the family like. So that creates, a genuine competition for time. I think now on broadcast, though, we still have to appeal to 4 quadrants, which means you simply just have to be more innovative than anybody else. It's not that difficult it's difficult to do, but it's not that difficult to assess that if you can create something that is more exciting, fresher and newer for a viewer, they're going to come to your platform. It doesn't matter whether you're on a broadcast network or OTT, or, as you say, in the metaverse or on social media. If people are engaged in it, then they'll go there. And I think you're seeing that a lot with TikTok and stuff like that, which is obviously people are spending time on social media, particularly TikTok, in an entertainment way. But then again, that has to keep up. Like TikTok is fresh now, so people are enjoying it. But are people still going to be doing the same things in 2 years on TikTok, or are they going to get bored of it? I think they have to be innovative at TikTok as well. They have to think about how to entertain people in the same way we do. And then the metaverse is the same thing. I think it's newer and fresher. So maybe there's an easier way of coming up with a show because it's just everything's new on that. But then they've got the problem there of actually trying to attract people to it, and how do they aggregate that audience to it? But yeah, I think we're in a very great period of time for innovation and producing television shows, entertainment shows. And I think, having all these new different distribution platforms is really good for creativity.
Great. Thank you, Rob, for this interview.
Having me. I hope you guys have a great time at Korea Next Media Week. It's been a pleasure being here, and hopefully I'll come and see you soon in person.
네, 랍 웨이드 대표와 MBC 이은성 부장님께 여러분 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.